Hello, my name is Andrea. Welcome to my channel, and this is Winnie. Today we're making two super easy, pretty, heart-shaped wreaths for Valentine's Day. So let's get started. For this DIY, we're making a neutral farmhouse heart-shaped wreath. I'm starting with this heart-shaped wire wreath form from Dollar Tree, and I'll also be using some nautical rope. I had this small piece of the rope left over from a previous DIY, so I'm just using that first. I had separated the nautical rope into the 3 separate strands, and I'm hot gluing one end of the strand to the bottom of the wreath form and then wrapping it around the whole thing. For the first little bit especially, I'm hot gluing as I go just to make sure each of the strands is nice and close together and staying where I want it to be on the wreath form. Now I'm taking the next pack of nautical rope, and you can see I'm cutting off the end and then separating all 3 strands from each other. Then I tied a knot at one end of one of the strands, and I'm hot gluing it to the other nautical rope that's already on my frame. Now I'm just continuing to wrap the rope around the heart frame and hot gluing as I go. Along the way, especially on the sides of the heart, I did stop hot gluing after every single time I wrapped around the rope, but I just made sure to pull it tight and then push it as close to the other piece of rope as possible. And then I will go back after and tighten anything that needs to be tightened and hot glue some of the pieces that need to be closer together. This was a very time-consuming task, but I think that it turned out so cute. Now you can see in the bottom left corner of the heart, these pieces are really separated and not looking very tight and nice at all. So I'm turning the wreath over and then pulling those pieces together. And then I'm using the hot glue gun to keep them looking nice and tight on the other side. Here's what the wreath looks like, all covered in the nautical rope. Now I'm taking these flowers from Dollar Tree, which is a lot of greenery and a few little yellow flowers and purple flowers, and then also this large cream-colored flower. And I'm cutting them all up and then hot gluing them to the side of the wreath. I have this wire burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree, and it's in a chevron white and burlap pattern, and I'm using this as part of my hanger for the wreath. I folded it over and then cut off the strip, and now I'm hot gluing this to the back of the wreath. To actually hang the wreath, I'm using another piece of the nautical rope, and I'm making a little loop and attaching it to the top of the ribbon. So I cut off a small piece of the rope and tied it in a knot. And I'm adding a little bit of hot glue around the knot and then just pressing down the frayed edges to make sure it all stays together. Then I'm rotating my little nautical rope loop so the knot is hidden underneath the ribbon. And here's my finished neutral farmhouse heart-shaped wreath, perfect for Valentine's Day. Today's video is part of a Valentine's Day DIY challenge hosted by Sarah from Jujube DIY and Lisa from Our Grey House. I'll have a link to the playlist in my description box, so make sure to check it out. The next DIY is a pretty floral heart-shaped wreath. This wicker heart wreath form is from the thrift store, and I'll be decorating it with all these little flowers from Dollar Tree. I'm starting out by arranging all of these cute little pink flowers all over the wreath. And then I'm hot gluing them in place. I'm also adding in a couple of larger pink flowers among all the tiny ones. And I have a bunch of tiny little white flowers that were from some Dollar Tree floral arrangements, and I picked off just the flower bits and I'm hot gluing them all around the wreath. I'm now adding in a few little greenery elements to finish everything off. To hang up the wreath, I'm using some shiny pink twine from Dollar Tree, and I'm just cutting off a long piece and then making a loop and hot gluing it to the back of the wreath. At first, I just hot glued in the point of the heart there, as you can see what I'm doing now. But then when I went to hang it up, I didn't really like how it hung when it was like that. So then I went back and I added more hot glue on the top curves of the heart and then glued the string over there so it created kind of like a triangle. And I found this made the wreath hang a lot nicer on the door. This is the finished floral heart-shaped wreath. This is so cute for Valentine's Day because it's a heart, but I also think it transitions so nicely into spring with all of the bright, fun flowers. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.